By 1914, the world had reached the brink of the largest and most devastating war humanity had ever witnessed. European powers viewed the Ottoman Empire as weak, exhausted, and ready to be divided in this war. The economy had collapsed, the army was worn down, but the Ottoman Empire still controlled a highly strategic geography. The most critical point of this geography was the Dardanelles Strait, the gateway opening to Istanbul. Britain and France planned to pass through the strait and force the Ottoman Empire out of the war. This would open a secure supply route to Russia and shift the balance of the war. At the beginning of 1915, one of the world's most powerful navies arrived off the shores of the Dardanelles. The Allied powers believed this operation would be concluded in a short time. However, the Ottoman defense was far deeper and more prepared than it appeared. The landing routes were identified, and naval mines were secretly laid into the sea during the night. The naval assault that began on March 18, 1915, completely changed the course of the war, as within hours, massive battleships were either sunk or severely damaged. The Allied fleet realized it could not pass through the strait. This time, they decided to attack not from the sea, but from the land, planning a landing on the Gallipoli Peninsula. On April 25, 1915, a massive landing began on the Gallipoli Peninsula. Trench warfare became one of the bloodiest scenes in human history. Hunger, thirst, and disease were the daily reality of the Ottoman soldiers. Yet they did not retreat, because behind them stood their homeland. In the midst of this hell, there was a soldier whose name would be written into history. Seyit Corporal from Havran Balıkesir was stationed at the Mecidiye battery. That day, enemy fire turned the position into a living hell. A shell had struck the crane, making it impossible to lift the artillery shells. Normally, these 215-kilogram shells could not be used without the crane. At that very moment, Seyit Corporal decided to push the limits of human strength. He lifted the first shell onto his back and carried it to the gun step by step. Then he did it again, ignoring everyone around him. When he lifted the third shell, everyone believed it was impossible. That shot struck the British battleship Ocean. The ship was heavily damaged and was forced to maneuver. During the maneuver, Ocean struck an Ottoman mine. The massive battleship sank beneath the waves within minutes. The war dragged on for months, and both sides suffered heavy losses. The Ottoman defense did not break, and the front line held firm. In early 1916, the Allied powers quietly withdrew. The Dardanelles had not been passed, and in the time that followed, the Allied forces completely withdrew from the country. At the same time, it forged the commanders who would later lead the War of Independence. Seyit Corporal returned to his village after the war. He asked for no medals and sought no fame. He simply said he had done his duty. Yet what he did had changed the fate of the war. Hundreds of thousands of people lost their lives at Gallipoli. These lands were defended by a nation that paid a heavy price. Gallipoli was not just a battle, it was a resistance. A front that seemed small changed the course of world history. Seyit Corporal became one of the symbols of that resistance. The Dardanelles remain silent, but their story is deafening. His story speaks not of strength, but of will. Sanakeles was not passed.